hesitate to get some help with your gardening. Carol Ann is here. Good morning, Carol
Good
Ann.
morning, Larry. How are you this morning?
Pretty good.
Good.
Sorry, I had to listen to the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just like listening to it.
Just a fun song.
Yep.
It'll get you moving in the morning.
Phone lines are open. If you have a question for Carol Ann about your lawn, your garden, I think I'm done cutting the grass. I don't think I'm going to have to cut it again. Wow, you think I'm still going to have a few?
You may still have to.
Really?
Yeah, a couple, once, maybe twice.
Maybe, yeah. How you
Don't
doing?
put it away. Oh, real good. We're real good. As I said to friends that I have on Facebook, if I can drag you out of your garden in the garden, it's so gorgeous out there today. It is beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
I like it like this. This is the good weather.
This is the reason we all live
A
here.
little too cool yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday
just
was a
too cool.
little chilly. Well, it was the first cold blast.
Right.
And so I think it affects us because 3 days earlier we were 90-something degrees.
Right.
It was raining. We were drenched. I went through days of having to stick the boots on the register in the house in order to dry them out and have them for work the next morning. And then suddenly the humidity drops down to 47%. I think at one point I looked and the temperatures dropped. So it was cold. It scared me. I actually have long pants on again today.
Uh-huh. Oh,
It's
okay.
3 days in a row. That's very unusual.
For you.
That's very unusual. You can tell it's cold.
Yeah, sure.
No, but it's gorgeous out there today.
But the one thing I always am reluctant with, I like the cold weather when it kills my bougainvillea, because I always hope it's the end of it, but it never is. It always comes back.
You can't.
But I don't like when it kills the banana plant. I like the banana.
Right. Well, the banana plant gives you that tropical feel.
I guess.
Yeah, when those big the elephant ears, the alocasias, the colocacias, the bananas.
My elephant ears were a little out of control, though. I had to get rid of some of them.
Yeah, sometimes you got to mow them over.
Oh, gosh. They would just start to show up everywhere.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They will.
I don't know where it came from. Somebody must have planted it for me.
Well, there was at least one in the neighborhood at some time.
Well, you know what happened for me, and I don't know if she did it or not. This sweet, sweet lady. So, so if she's listening, I don't want her to think I'm making fun.
No.
Or that I was annoyed. I wasn't.
Right.
But she was working on the house next door, and apparently there was nobody there, and she was helping put plants there. I don't know if you know the lady. Her name is Susan.
I don't know.
Little lady. And anyway, so she came knocking on my door. She said, would it be possible to hook up the hose to your water? I said, sure, no problem. So she was so appreciative that I let her use my water. This was back in the summer, that she planted some plants for me.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And I didn't know it. It's just that all of a sudden these beautiful leaves, like a mixture of green and white. What would that be called?
Well, it depends. Are they narrow?
Is that called variegated?
Yeah, variegated, right.
See, I learned that from you.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
they're starting to climb up the wall, clinging to it. And it's
Okay,
like,
so it's a
man,
it's
I
a
don't want
vine.
that.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it's
you
pretty,
don't.
but
right, but you don't need it going up the
I don't
walls.
want that. That's why I pulled it down. Yeah. And maybe she planted the elephant ears. I don't know, but
it's possible.
I keep the elephant ears. I just gotta watch.
Yeah,
them.
you just mow them over, and they do die off in the wintertime. So will that vine, but yeah, anything that's going to climb up the house, you got to be real careful with that, because then you'll be calling Joe, right? In order to come fix the damage, that they've done.
Okay, I thought you were this Joe.
No, Joe Wright.
Joe Wright.
Get him in there to fix where they've gone up behind the siding and things like that. So you do have to be careful with any of those kind of things, even whether you're in a mobile, a manufactured, or even like a stucco home, because sometimes that stuff will actually get behind the stucco. So be careful with anything.
That could be bad.
Because as you go to, you think, I'll just pull it out of here. You may actually damage it. So
somebody asked me to ask you a question. I just remembered it. If you wanted to get a job as a gardener, would getting the Master Gardener degree or certification help?
The thing with Master Gardeners, you can use it on a resume kind of thing, but you're not supposed to use the title as your business.
Oh, okay.
Because you are a volunteer.
Okay.
And if it's your business, then you're not supposed to be getting paid. But as you put it down because it is training. It is information that you've learned. But
let me tell you the inside scoop and get your feedback on this. The job that is desired is at Epcot.
Oh,
are they
sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
Is that going to help, or do they look for college-educated gardeners?
They may be they may look for both, because if they've taken the Master Gardener program within Central Florida, it's going to be benefit. If you took it elsewhere in another state, it's not going to necessarily help you in Florida. But
I wonder if that's a good job. Would you know? I mean, is that a good pay?
I don't know what they pay, but it would be to me, it would be one of those really cool jobs. Yeah. Yeah, it would be one of those.
Yeah, I guess Disney's like any other company. I guess some jobs are
right, and it depends. If you're coming in on the bottom rung of the ladder, you may be the one pushing the wheelbarrow around, making sure that the mulch and things like that, and you're pulling out the bad plants, and the other guy who's been there 4 months longer than you is coming with the new plant to put it in its spot, kind of thing. But that would be one of those really cool jobs. But depending on the position that they're looking for, that they're applying for, yes, they may wish a horticultural degree, but sometimes experience can outweigh a degree.
You would think.
You would think, depending on it. Right. If you have been working, say, for a landscaping company off and on, or maybe you owned your own landscaping company for a while, you've gone ahead and taken the Master Gardener course, just because that gives you some of the book knowledge, some of the how to find the information that's necessary, and the amount of stuff you do learn in that program. It might give you a boost over someone who just recently graduated with a horticultural degree. Only because you've worked in it, you've had the hands-on.
Right. I would imagine you could teach the course. I mean, at a college level, I would imagine. I mean, from what I hear, I mean, you sound like
no, not me. There's a lot more to learn. There's a whole lot out there.
That's the same thing with radio. I mean, I just said this to Dan the other day. As long as I've worked in radio, there's always something new you'll learn.
Well, and it's funny because one of our listeners, and she'll probably sit back and laugh when I say, that I went to the FNGLA Expo in Orlando, Florida Nursery. It's a Landscape Association Expo.
The F and what?
FNGLA.
Oh,
they're all capital letters with periods between them.
Oh, man.
And it's an industry expo. Every industry has its expos, kind of thing, where they go and they showcase what the new products are for the upcoming year, or, and their services, et cetera. And yes, this was my very first one I was actually able to attend. Normally, I'm working when all of these go on. It's so I went, and yes, I did learn stuff. I had a good time, found some interesting stuff. I'm going to try to get a hold of some of these people. I might talk about a couple of them now, because you might find these items online to try it yourself, but I haven't found out exactly where. I know the one product I think is trying to come into some of of course, they're all trying to come into the retail side. At the moment they are online. They're not in a brick and mortar store necessarily right now, but that doesn't stop a lot of people, especially if you're into gardening.
Right. But we're already up to the 15-minute mark. Can you believe it?
Wow.
We need to take a little break, and I want to remind the listeners that your questions are really an important part of this show. So, and it doesn't have to be a question. It can be, hey, guess what's going on in my yard? I got bugs.
Yeah. What do I do? It becomes a question.
Well, it becomes a question, yeah. All right, so if you want to call, the phone number is 352, that's the area code, and then 622-9622, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating? There's no accident. More clouds and sun today. There can be a passing shower or thunderstorm, but much of the day rain-free with a high of 82 to 86. And partly cloudy tonight with a low of 65 inland, near 70 along the coast. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 84 to 88. And for Thursday, partly sunny, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Howdy, folks. Did you know you can sell your mobile home today for fast cash? That's right. You can sell your mobile home today for fast cash. Just call 1-844-BUY-MY-MH today for a cash offer on your mobile home. That's 1-844-BUY-MY-MH today for a cash offer on your mobile home. You can also visit our Fancy Pants website at www.mobilehomecashout.com. That's www.mobilehomecashout.com. We buy ugly mobile homes and the purty ones.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OCalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OCalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin and her show, In the Garden with Carol Ann. No longer called You've Got a Garden. In the Garden with Carol Ann. New song, new title.
We just change it all up.
and the phone number to call Carol Ann right now is 622-9622. Just so you know.
I just said suddenly, I couldn't get one electronic device to change places, so I went to another electronic device to change places, and it didn't give me what I was looking for.
So I want to tell you something while you're looking for that. Yesterday we had a guest on, and he was talking about these online contests.
Right.
And I went to the site that he was telling us to go to, and I found a gardening contest. And the prize is substantial. It's like a $5,000 prize. You get to visit the gardens in Holland.
Oh, wow.
And a couple other gardens in that part of the world, I guess. And the way you win is by sending photos in of your garden.
Right, right. There's all kinds of different gardening ones.
Sometimes I can take a picture of your garden.
Or just,
they wouldn't know.
No, and a lot of times people don't. Except, usually if you take ones of botanical gardens, yes, they're going to know. But there's all kinds of different gardening things that, and here we're coming into the fall season. Sometimes the catalogs come out, or people, in other parts of the country, gardening has gone to slow way down or to non-existent for the next several months, where here we're getting into a transitional period into cool season blooming plants and fall blooming flowers and trees and shrubs, and just the fall. Some of our fall color isn't as intense as what you're going to find in northern states, but we have a few things that'll give you color. And so, with the contests and things like that, sometimes they come up on, like you say, online in the garden catalogs, the garden blogs. Some of them have them year round. Others are, here's a slow season, but we still want you to come back into our sites during that off season. And some of them, it could be you're sending it in now, they will collect them all up for a few months, and by next spring, here suddenly the winner may be getting a wonderful prize, for that, optimum time to go see some of these locations.
What is the tree? I know you've told me this before, but it looks like it's turning into fall colors.
Oh, the golden rain tree.
Okay.
Yeah, it's yellow right now.
Got
little yellow flowers.
I saw Joe posted a picture on his Facebook page of something near his place. And
yeah, I think I might have commented on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Even, but the golden rain trees, but the native persimmon will, they color up. The Crepe myrtles actually give a little bit of fall color. Some of your, the hollies will begin to put berries on, and they'll begin to color up once the temperatures drop a little more. The beautyberry bush, they're just covered in their purple berries. It's one of those things.
Right,
how can you tell it's fall here? And they are gorgeous this time of year.
And my oranges are getting bigger, but they're still perfectly green.
But perfectly green. Well, maybe yours is a little bit later ripening. Mine are still green as well.
Yeah.
But, and those kind of things start to ripen. You can tell for us when fall and winter come in as, certain fruits are ripening as well.
The ginger cone that I have.
Pine cone ginger?
Turning red.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they're bright red now.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for the red? What does that...
It's about near the end. I mean,
does that attract bugs or birds or something? What do they turn red for?
Just it's the end. The chlorophyll is running out, just like
really?
anything else. It's more of a reaction probably to the stresses because they've been green for months.
Right.
But now if you take and you squish those in your hands, and they smell nice and it feels good. And they used to call them shampoo ginger.
I know, but I still felt like I had to wash my hands after I did that.
Oh no! So do it and then keep going. I've washed my hands with them and then get my bottle of water because I need, wash a little of the dirt off with it and you grab your bottle of water and then keep going.
Doesn't it hurt the plant to squeeze the water out of it?
No, because you're not squishing it. You're just gently
okay.
squeezing it. But they're at the end of their time too for this year.
Huh.
They, first good frost, they'll be gone. And I know it's October. I'm talking frost. Remember that our first possible frost day is the 15th of November.
Okay.
So that's all of 4 weeks out or so, approximately. And we've already just had a taste of temperatures. I think you said yesterday morning was 47 degrees.
Yesterday, 48 on my thing.
48 on your thing.
66 this morning.
this morning. But still, we dropped down below 50 degrees in mid-October.
Right.
A friend of mine posted something online. She'd been conversing with a friend in a northern state where we were only 5 degrees colder than they were first thing in the morning.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
That was, we were like at 45 at their house and they were 50, or it was the other way around, but it was only like a 5-degree difference, and yet many, many states apart.
But now, you told us something a long time ago about bulbs, plants that have bulbs.
Yeah, the
cold helps them or something?
The cold with certain of the bulbs, September would have been the better time to have divided them if if your bed was getting too overcrowded in them and separate them, share them off, move them in another location. But certain bulbs need a chill time. If they don't get that dormancy, they just won't bloom. Tulips are one of those. You will find tulip bulbs tulips don't do well in Florida because it doesn't get cold and stay cold. The other states that they were starting to pull their jackets out over the weekend, or ones that have been colder, they get cold and they stay there. Once those temperatures drop, they're not going up again into 82, 83 degrees. Where our temperatures fluctuate, our dormancy is very light. It's very short. It's, measured in just a couple hundred hours versus something like 1,200 hours.
Oh, okay. So what do they do where tulips are growing all the time? I guess like Disney. Are they pulling them out?
They're refrigerated.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, things like that. They're put in and they're refrigerated. They're dug back out, or they may even be replaced. They may have a supplier in Denmark.
So now you've heard that,
or Holland, that'll supply them.
No, I don't. I'm kind of talking without really knowing what I'm talking about. Obviously, we'll do that a lot. But they say Disney's got this whole underground network of hallways.
Yeah.
Which means that the dirt that they're planting in doesn't go very deep. It must hit the roof of whatever's down underneath.
It may not be underneath, where their trees and such are is going to be a big enough, area, but they're smaller plants. It's a behind the scenes. Some of it is underground. Some, haven't had the opportunity to do the behind the scenes in that, but I'd love to.
You know who knows the in and out of that is Robin's husband, Ronnie.
Oh, yeah.
He helped build it.
Oh, cool.
He was in the underground before there was an above ground.
Before there was.
Yeah, he'll tell you the story. He'll have a trivia question if he ever asks you. Here's the answer. what was the first structure in Disney World? The answer is a porta potty.
I was thinking it would have been that's usually the first word, probably even for the Paddock Mall, the first structure was a porta.
Probably, yeah. Are you ready for the first call?
Sure.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning.
I hear you talking about the weather and everything. I believe it was the last about 10 or 12 days in September. We had a prolonged period of time where there was a tremendous amount of solar activity. And what I mean by the solar activity is the flares and everything.
Right.
And what concerns everybody, if you look at the NOAA site, solar weather, is when the CMEs or, explosions or flares are aimed at the Earth. Now, I'm just wondering, as far as our gardening is concerned, do you ever watch any of this? Because there is sometimes a lot of like X-rays and various types of UV rays that are actually hitting our Earth. Even though our atmosphere and magnetic fields disperse a lot of it, but some of it does get through. And I'm just wondering, is any of this like intensity of the sun, periods of intensity from the sun affect what's going on with our gardens? I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, yeah, actually, it's pretty interesting. I've never really notated any of that, in my own personal thing, watching how the gardens do, because that's a lot to sit there and keep the research up on how the solar flares and things like that. I know it affects radio waves. That there's certain times of year or certain times it might be every 5 years or so that you suddenly have a big upsurge in that. I don't know if I've ever really noticed it. I do know that, and we've talked about it before, is like with lightning. Or natural rain or lightning-infused rain always seems that when the storm is over, everything just seems fresher. The air has that cleaner smell, and of course, most of the time we just think it's because it's run all the dirt back down the drain. Right. But I think part of that is from that electrical charges and things like that. Now the solar radiation with things. I haven't seen where plants have taken on, say, years or periods where there's been a lot of solar activity, any big, say, sun scald on plants or change in the way plants grow. Really? But that's just, I'm not under the scientific side of it. Somebody may be studying some of that. But, I haven't. But
maybe they can see something that you can't see with a microscope.
Or something. Yeah, where they take that plant apart again after they've grown it during this time period, and they've grown one in an enclosed environment where they've controlled the lighting and things, and then check it, and how do you have a true control on that as a natural environment as compared. So it's hard to say, but it is kind of interesting on that.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is really. We're almost up against the break already. Believe it or not. Yesterday I went to buy gasoline, and I could tell that somebody had been there from Georgia. I could see a little pile of like red dirt.
Red dirt.
That must have fallen off their car or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Somebody. Oh well, that's you can tell that fall is starting in Florida. Is by the change to the color of the license plates.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back with Carol Ann. Remember, your calls are an important part of the show. If you'd like to call into the show, whether it's a question or a comment, the number is 352-622-9622. That's 352-622-WOCA. We'll be right back with Carol Ann Baldwin after this.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. ISIS militants closing in on a victory in Syria.
Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan says the Syrian border town of Kobani is about to fall. ISIS militants are fighting street battles with Kurdish forces who are trying to defend it. There have been reports of overnight airstrikes carried out by the US-led coalition.
Fox Radio's Emily Wither. Meanwhile, the Turkish government coming under pressure from its own people.
There have also also been protests across Turkey calling on the government to do more to save the town from ISIS. More than 160,000 people have fled the area for Turkey.
Spanish officials are trying to trace those who may have come into contact with a nurse with Ebola, her husband now placed under quarantine. And talking to your car while driving can be dangerous, according to 2 new studies, which find that voice-activated smartphones and other systems may be exacerbating the distracted driving problem. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Know-how! Napa supports the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. And this month, we're making it easy for you to show your support too. Make any $25 purchase and you'll receive a free Napa Camo Racing Cap. For every cap we give out, we'll donate $1 to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, supporting those who serve you. That's Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 11/16/14.
Let's get down to business. You don't travel too often for work, but when you do, you want to stay where you know you'll be taken care of. That's where Choice Hotels comes in. We have everything you need to keep you on top of your game, like free hot breakfast for that much-needed morning boost, free internet to keep you in touch with home base, and a generous loyalty program so you can earn great rewards. Stay for business at Choice Hotels and book now at choicehotels.com. Great endings begin here. Amenities vary by location.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire because that's how exotic it is.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, let's rejoin Carol Ann Baldwin and In the Garden with Carol Ann. If you have a question for Carol Ann or a comment, the number is 352-622-9622. If you're looking online, thank you for doing that, and you have a call coming in.
Sure.
Let's go right to the phone. Hold on. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
We have a home in the in Bellevue area, and outside of that, out in the grass and crawling up the walls and stuff are these centipede worm type of things, and they seem to have an exoskeleton.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to get rid of those things. I mean, they're all over the place.
Basically, they're coming out because of all the rain we had, and that's what was flushing them up out of the soil. They're naturally they're in the soil under that thatch layer, working on that kind of things. About the only way you can take care of them would be to treat the yard for insects. And most all the products will take care of them. Some may escape more than other ones. You find them on the walls, just sweep them off. They're not really doing much of anything that's that harmful to to the environment or to your landscape. So if you can stand them for a while with the drier temperatures and things like that, and the cooler temperature or drier weather and cooler temperatures, they're going to begin to go away right on their own.
Okay, well, great. I guess that would be better than hiring my granddaughter to pick them up with her and put them in a bucket for me.
Yeah, that's
She got a nickel a piece on those.
Wow. So watch out, people are going to want to go to work for you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the information.
You're welcome.
Do they bite? Do they?
Yeah, for a nickel a piece.
I know, but do they bite, those bugs?
Well, I'd probably wear gloves just because they're bugs.
Just because they're yucky.
They're kind of like bugs. Just thinking with something like that, you can put down, anything you're using for the lawn insects is going to, help with those. You're looking more over the ones that are going to work a little more underground, which, it's, read your labels. They're going to list your centipedes and things like that on there. And just treating that outer perimeter, where they're coming across. You don't have to treat the whole yard if you don't want to. And again, they're just more of a nuisance than a big issue.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, looks like we got through another love bug invasion.
Yes, we did.
They kind of went away. They weren't really as bad as they were supposed to be because we had a lot of moisture. But I always wondered, and I can't find out anywhere, and I looked stuff up, but why birds don't like to eat love bugs. I mean, they eat every other kind of insect, but they don't care for a love bug. I wonder what the deal on that is.
I have no idea, except that they're unpleasant tasting. There's a lot of bugs that birds and things like that won't eat. It's hard to say. They always say that they're very tarry.
Or something. They've got a terrible smell. I don't know.
Yeah, right. That they smell bad, and that's it. It could be that they have a defense mechanism. That's what it is. They're because basically the love bug, except to your paint job, is just annoying. It's not harmful. In a few hours early in its life, it's actually beneficial that they do consume mosquito larvae. But only within the first few hours of their life cycle. The eggs are laid in leaf litter, which burrows. It actually helps to aerate soil. The only bad thing is that they tear your paint job up.
Yeah. It's interesting how they're attracted to white.
Yes.
The white color. My neighbor's got a white house. When I go over there, I mean, the whiteness by the front door almost looks like it's black.
It's black and moving. Yeah. I had a white car that was affected that way, and also one time I was camping with said car, and the car was just covered with them sitting there at the campsite. And I looked up, and we had a green canopy, and they were all in the outer part of that as well, a light green canopy. So it's just something how maybe that's cooler. I'm not sure what they're because you can avoid running into a lot of the love bugs by changing the way you travel if possible. If you're going somewhere, leave real early in the morning, get out before 10 a.m. and get where you're going because they don't come out until temperatures get up warm enough. They don't come out to fly again, and then leaving later in the afternoon to where you're traveling as the temperatures and the sun starts to go down.
What is the deal with the sex with these bugs? Do they hook up like as soon as they're born?
Not quite. Like I said, the first few hours they have a
and do they never separate the rest of their lives? Do they die?
No, sometimes you find single ones, and I think they've probably, especially if you sort of go
snap them apart, maybe. But I mean, naturally,
they got to go lay eggs. So, but they're
so they have to separate to lay the eggs,
and then I believe they actually do go die.
That's it, huh? Their whole life is just to be born and have a romp,
have a little fun and go reproduce.
That's just it.
Yeah, they don't eat as adults, so. Who knows?
At least we can be thankful that we only have to worry about them twice a year. At spring and then fall now, But if that would have been a 12-month deal, that'd be terrible down here. When I first moved down, I lived out in the forest, and we had to travel Highway 40 coming in town here. And, every day after work, when I got back home, I had a hose to cut. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
Living in the city here and driving the city streets, it's not a problem whatsoever.
Not so much,
right? Only twice a year.
Right, and I'm thankful that they're not hard shelled. kind of thing that, it's, snap, pop, pop, pop.
Clicking on you.
That or on the motorcycle, you'd never be able to go. Yeah. That hurt. That hurt.
That's when you let the lady drive and you sit behind her.
Hey.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Yep. Now that one of the things is we are coming into fall. Of course, right now everybody's opening their windows in their house to let all this wonderful fresh air in. Hey, your utility bill drops for a couple months while we're able to do this. But as we get ready thinking about closing the house up, they've shown that houseplants, bringing your plants in the house or just having houseplants in the house, the improvement to your air quality is actually measurable. I know if people have allergies, you have to be careful what you bring into the house, but that's with anything. Your dust and dust mites are going to give you an allergy issue. But, plants do remove chemicals from the air. If you have smokers in the house or if you've just put new carpeting in the house, there are chemicals that are released by these that are in the air. Just as a couple of things, the benzene-based toxins, which are detergents, inks, dyes, plastics, rubbers, tobacco smoke, synthetic fibers. If you have in your house the spathiphyllum, that's a peace lily. A lot of people have peace lily. Dracaenas, Gerber daisies. Now those you're going to need a sunnier area. Hedera, mums. Have some mums in the kitchen. You've got company coming in and out.
My mom was always in the kitchen.
Yeah, my mom sat at the kitchen table a lot and read the paper. Angleomena is another one, but the mums, like this time of year, we're finding them in the stores. You bring a few home, you've got them in, as a centerpiece, maybe on the main dining room table or different locations. That it helps filter, because we're having guests are going to be starting to come over, and we do shut the windows, but that helps to clean some of those things out of the air. The formaldehyde based toxins, particle board, your plywood, carpeting, some of your cleaners, foam insulations, new carpeting. That new smell is actually the formaldehydes
Isn't that something
being
I know?
released off of there. But a weeping fig or philodendron, spider plants. Everybody always used to love the spider plants. Hang one of them up and they trail the little plants hang down. Sansevieria, that's mother-in-law's tongue, or other people call it snake plant.
Really?
The pothos, golden pothos, another nice hanging basket you can have. And here in the summertime, we can hang them outside, but if you're using them to freshen your air, find you a nice bright, they don't want direct sun. If you've got, if you're going to hang them in front of a window, make sure you got a sheer there so that it's not coming directly in on them, or you're going to find, those plants get burned. Most all of your house plants do tolerate a bright room, high light. Some are more low light, but they don't want that sun coming through that window, because that sun gets magnified as it comes through. And so watch with that. But, nice gifts as well, as we're thinking about the upcoming holiday season. Unfortunately, we're thinking of holidays already. But, houseplants do help to clean the air, especially if folks aren't able to get out. We spend so much time anymore in front of computer screens and everything that we don't go outside as often as we should. And in a few houses, bring some plants in. You bring the outdoors into it.
Do we? Here's the better question. Why do we use coffee grounds in our gardens? Is it a fertilizer? Why do people do that?
Yeah. It is a soil amendment. Is moreover what we would actually call it. It is there are tannins in it, in the coffee, that are released into the ground. That does seem to certain plants really like coffee grounds, and certain insects actually don't like them.
But yet you didn't want me to put coffee in my plant over there.
Well, it was a little too much with a little creamer, a little sugar.
No, it wasn't. No sugar. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Morning. How are you?
Good.
Hey, houseplants are also proven to make people more attentive at work and less absent.
Mm-hmm.
Makes them feel better.
Yep.
That's another plus for interior plants.
That's right.
That's why I'm always here.
It could be. Well, that's it, because Larry's a vegetable. He's another plant just his own. No, just kidding, Larry.
Thank you.
That's true. Bringing plants into the office space, into the workplace, in your, if you have a home office, maybe you do part of your work in your in on your computer each evening. Having a couple plants does because, and I think that all is tied in together. a cleaner air and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's a little something.
It does. It always looks nicer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little story when we come back. But first, we have to take a little break, and we'll be right back. If you have a question for Carolyn or a comment, 622-9622 is the number.
Brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. More clouds and sun today. There can be a passing shower or thunderstorm, but much of the day rain-free with a high of 82 to 86. And partly cloudy tonight with a low of 65 inland, near 70 along the coast. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 84 to 88. And for Thursday, partly sunny, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. So real quickly, the question not the question, but the thing I want to share with you and the listeners is that years ago, and I'll be real quick, I used to play concerts when I was a folk singer, traveling from school to school. And I decided to carry with me two artificial plants that look very real, like the one that's
kind
in
of
the
like a
studio
ficus,
here.
yeah.
And it really kind of helped, I don't know, with the setting of the mood, I guess.
Right.
For the show.
And as we were saying off air, that and it creates a focal point, especially if you're doing something like you said, you're a one-man thing on a great big large stage, that it brings that stage down into something of here, I'm over here. I'm not down there.
I'm in the little garden here.
I'm right here. You're in the garden. And so, and you see that in a lot of different venues, different school events, if you've got kids in school, or even just community events where you've got a stage or a podium and there's plants set up with it. And that is in order to soften that effect. It does draw your attention to the, your speaker's in front of you, but you hear him from all over the place. With sound systems, you're not hearing him talk to you as sitting in a room across from one another.
Right.
So here you're kind of bringing that focus. You've got a spotlight here and you've got plants. We bring them into all kinds of different areas. And talking with some people recently at work, going, well, if I want these plants and you tell me that they'll bloom year round if I bring them in, how do I bring them in?
Yeah.
And growing up, because I did grow up north, is Mom's plants sat outside all summer long. Once the weather was nice enough for them to go outside, they went outside. But as soon as the temperatures began to cool down, it was you made their indoor spot. That generally was the kitchen or the dining area there, but that's where they lived all winter. And a lot of times that's the better way to do your plants here, even if they're going to be cold sensitive. Once those temperatures start to get down and start staying down, those nighttime temperatures is what we're really speaking of, is find out where you're going to put them for the winter. Not just stick them in the garage for a cold spell, but bring them in the house. You know, you may want to thoroughly water them. You may want to treat them for insects before you do this.
Right.
Get your spot set up where they're going to live there for the next couple months. You may not be bringing them in till November or December, but think about it in advance, because taking them in and out of the house, it does a shock, because they're going to shock coming in. They're used to being outside where air circulates and the rest of that, and you're going to change their lighting and everything else. So you're contemplating bringing some of these plants in for the winter. You might make sure that you're going to want to water them thoroughly before you bring them in. You may want to treat a few days in advance for insect pests, so that's taken care of. And then when you bring them in, watch them, and watch the water. You may have to give them a little extra care when we start to have to turn the heat on. That humidity in the home drops down, which is going to dry those plants out more quickly than what they would have been possibly outside, even though in the wintertime humidity also drops.
Explain this to me. How do you take a plant and without a seed, grab a branch or a leaf or whatever, and then make it grow in your own yard?
It's some of them. It's very easy. Some of it's what they call air layering or layering. A fig tree, for example, you've got somebody has a fig tree. Say, "Ooh, I really like those figs." They say,
right.
"Well, I'll grow you a fig tree," and they grab a branch and they set it on the ground. And they put a brick on it, throw a little dirt, put a brick on it, and say,
right.
"Come back in about 6 weeks and we'll have you a tree."
Really?
Because along that, it will make roots along that stem where it touches the ground. Some plants, like a begonia. Yeah, begonias will actually, you can take a leaf and have the leaf and make a couple slits in the vein and pin that down onto some just damp soil, sand, and it will begin to make smaller plants off of that. So
it sounds different with each one.
Each plant is a little different. Some plants grow better from seed. Others, the seed isn't real viable, so a cutting, sometimes we need to use a rooting hormone, which you can buy over the counter. It's nothing fancy. It's a powder. Some are liquids.
Wow.
Don't overuse them. They call them, Rootone used to be the name of.
Don't ever ask me to substitute for you over at Lowe's. Because if somebody comes asking me for a rooting hormone, do you have any rooting hormones? I say, well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I have a rooting hormone.
But no, in some plants, actually, like a gardenia or a camellia, do better with what they call air layering, and that's taking a section. Usually, you come down about 8 inches or so off of a branch from the tip,
right.
and you take a very sharp knife. You have your box of Band-Aids handy, because if your knife is sharp enough, don't slip. And you're going to make a thin cut in order, up into that. To get into that cambium layer, and a little fine piece of toothpick to hold that open, a little bit of that rooting hormone, wrap it in damp moss, then wrap that in aluminum foil.
Really?
And just cover it off. And about 4 or 5 weeks later, take a peek in there. If the end hasn't died,
right,
you might have gotten this. After about 4 weeks, take a look. You might start to see a few roots. If you do, close it back up and let it go a few more weeks. Then cut it below there, stick it in the ground. You've got roots. You've just started it. You just cloned that tree. You just took And
is there a resource book or something that?
Actually, the university does have a grafting. Over at Extension, they sell the book. It's a grafting and air layering book.
Oh, wow.
It's a little thin book. It's not expensive. I want to say it's under $10.
Okay.
And it does not come with Band-Aids. You have to buy your own. But and you do need a very, very sharp knife. A lot of times people will use like an X-Acto knife,
right,
where you can change the blades. Otherwise, your pocket knife, it's got to be about razor sharp in order to do it well.
Why it won't work if it's not sharp?
You want a clean cut. If you've ever cut yourself with a knife,
right,
accidentally, don't do it on purpose, because that's dumb. A sharp knife cut is going to heal better. It's cleaner. It doesn't hurt as bad as say a dull knife, and so it's just a better overall. You're not going to saw through it. You're going to make that cut very easily.
Gotcha,
If the knife's too sharp, too dull, and you go to cut into it,
Rip it.
you might, you may rip it, or you're
yeah.
going to cut it too far or further than necessary. But a lot of plants take very easily in, especially in the springtime. We're normally going with what they call semi-hardwood cuttings, and they're not real stiff. They're still pliable. They root real easy.
Well, if you want some new plants for your garden, I have a $20 gift certificate here to Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens and Nursery, and I'll give it away to the person who can answer this question.
Cool.
Based on something you talked about today. If somebody comes into your house and says, guess what I just saw outside? And you say, what? And they say, I saw a honeymoon fly. What did they say? What did they say?
On a
It's
honeymoon
another word for honeymoon fly. And if you know what that is, somebody said, guess what I just saw outside? I saw a honeymoon fly.
Honeymoon fly.
What did they see? What's the more common name for that?
It's the one we call it.
It's what we call
Well, keep it clean, people. Keep it clean.
Really?
I don't know.
Must
if
be
that's
something I don't know here.
I don't know. I'm making things up as I go.
The honeymoon fly is seen outside, and what are they seeing? You'll get $20 to Bob White's Camellia Gardens and Nursery if you know that.
And this is a good time if you've been thinking about a camellia, because they'll start to bloom here in the wintertime. So getting one now, you can get it, get that going in the ground and,
Let's see if somebody knows what a honeymoon fly is. What are they looking at if they're looking at a honeymoon fly?
Well, I came in late, so I'm just going to guess that it's our September love bug.
It is a love bug,
Yeah.
yes. Honeymoon fly, also known as a love
There's
bug.
a love bug.
Also known as a double-headed bug.
You can also call it a push me pull you.
Push me pull you, yeah, I guess you call it anything. What's your first name?
Chris.
Chris, you know where we are?
Yes, I certainly do.
Okay, well, you've got a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines.
Would Wednesday be fine to come by?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'll be by Wednesday. Thank you.
All right, you got it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, hey.
Say Chris, right?
Yeah.
Chris, let me write it down.
Write down Chris's name. Yep, that's a
honeymoon fly.
Honeymoon fly.
So that was almost guessable. Because
Yes,
of the word
that one
honeymoon.
was, yeah.
Especially, we only really talked about two bugs today.
I think so. Centipedes and love bugs.
Yeah.
So that was it. You had your choice, and I wouldn't have called a centipede a honeymoon.
No.
No.
But you know what I've seen more of lately?
What's that?
Not a ton of them, but I've seen more ladybugs.
Well,
I've just seen more of them.
it's a possibility that wherever you're seeing them, there could be more aphids, more food that they're feeding on. It can also be that people are beginning to use a few fewer pesticides. In order to, so that there's the population of the ladybug will come up, if you're not killing them off, and if there's plenty for them to eat, they'll, of course, stick around and reproduce.
Yeah, but I kind of, it's kind of weird. That,
and then you do have to watch.
Some bugs we like, some bugs we don't like.
Right, and some of them, you got to watch on some of the. It's sort of I wouldn't call it an invasive, but I guess you could call it. It's an exotic species. Is actually that Asian ladybug. They're the ones that you'll find. They'll end up in the house. So that's why I would treat any outdoor plants that you're going to bring inside, treat them for pests so that you don't have a sudden bloom of ladybugs crawling all over. Then if you do, get out the vacuum cleaner and just vacuum them up. Yeah, that's the better. Yeah, because you don't want to squish them. They stink and make a mess.
They stink?
Yeah.
I've never killed a ladybug.
They'll make a stain on the,
Really?
Well, we want the good ones. We want the native ones. But the ones that hatch out and you end up with them in the house, you just vacuum them off the wall. Get out the dustbuster.
Oh, man, that's kind of mean.
Yeah. Get the dirt devil.
It's a ladybug. Is there a man bug equivalent? Is there?
That's her husband. He's still just called a ladybug.
Still called a ladybug.
Ladybug and man bug make baby bugs. That's all.
Carolyn, we're out of time. Thank you for doing what. Wow, there it is.
There it is.
Hey, but where's your song? We need your song. Here it comes. Sorry.
There it is. Wrong button.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn.
Yep. Thank you, Larry.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Make sure you tune in next week for In the Garden with Carolyn. And of course, you can watch it online. We've taped it.
Broadway Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. There will be stepped-up screenings at airports in the fight to keep Ebola from spreading here.